Hello, hello, hello. It's Jessica. Welcome to Tuesday, and it is time for our crypto tax tips. It is another beautiful day here in Nebraska, so I'm out in the sun while I still have it. Well, not quite in the sun, but outside where the birds are singing and the bugs are buzzing and all that fun stuff. And I thought, what can I talk about? I'm always thinking, what can I talk about for the people on Facebook who might be curious about crypto taxes? And today it occurred to me that I haven't talked in a while about, okay, you have to prepare crypto taxes, but what happens when you have someone to turn the crypto taxes into? So, poof, suddenly the crypto taxes are a bunny rabbit. No, just kidding. Okay. When you are not doing your own taxes, when you are preparing your taxes and you take your numbers to an accountant or a tax preparer or H&R Block, or when you're not using TurboTax, what do you do? So I thought I would talk just for a minute about this. What do we do when we help our clients figure out their crypto transactions for their taxes? What we do is we make all the numbers tell the right story. We clean up everything. We make sure that everything's accounted for, that we don't have any missing crypto that went somewhere or came magically and doesn't have a cost basis. So we clean that all up and make it all beautiful. And then the software has a little button, and you push the button and it runs the tax report. And you take that tax report and you take it to your accountant or your tax preparer. You can also add it to TurboTax yourself. It does tell you where the information goes in the TurboTax software, and it has a CSV that it downloads of your capital gains transactions so that you can just add it to the CryptoTax software. But if you're taking it to an accountant, what we always tell our clients to do is you print off the information about the capital gains. There's like 2 reports. There can be more than that, but there's 2 basic ones that we tell our clients to use. And one is the PDF version that prints out and it says, okay, here's what you did. And it actually tells you where the different incomes and things like that go. So if you had mining income, if you had interest income, it'll actually say this goes on Schedule 1 on line such and such. And if you have capital gains, that information is summarized in this PDF report that you can download. And for U.S. customers, actually, it also prepares the pre-prepared forms for you for the 1040, the Schedule B if you needed, the Schedule D, the 8949, all of those forms that need to be filled out. It actually does provide a copy for you in this PDF report that it prints out for U.S. citizens. For other countries, it does it a little bit differently. Usually it's a table summarizing what happened, and it does summarize all your income and things like that. But I'm not sure if the forms aren't as standardized in other countries or what. But for the U.S., it actually prints off the actual forms you need. Now, the thing is, all the accountants have their own tax software that they feed the numbers into, and it spits out the forms already prepared. So your tax accountant doesn't need all the 8949s and the pages and pages of whatever you've got. They really just need that summary at the beginning, which says this is the income you earned, this is where on the schedule you should put it, because they don't always know that. But it tells you where to put that. The dog next door is barking and driving me crazy. So we've got that going on, and then the trades. So the part that everybody always thinks of with crypto reporting is that you need to report the trades. So every time you exchange one coin for another, you have a capital gain or loss that needs to be reported. On the USA tax forms, this is reported on the Schedule 8949. And like I said, it's summarized in the PDF, but there's actually another place where you can actually download the actual CSV. And depending how many transactions our clients have, we tell our clients to just download the CSV. Now, a lot of people who invest in crypto don't have very many transactions. And when I'm saying don't have very many, like, 10, 20, 50, maybe 100. If you have like up to 100 or so, you probably could download that PDF version with the 8949 filled out for you, and you can just have your accountant retype the information, right? But I think accountants get annoyed at that. I would, if I was an accountant, I would be like, give me a CSV file or an Excel file and just let's go. So there's another place you can download the raw data. Now, the problem with the raw data in the particular software that we use is that it has every single trade broken down. And what we like to do for our clients, because a lot of our clients have thousands and thousands of trades, and the IRS does not want a tax report that is, 100 pages long. Actually, I ran mine once and it was 200 pages, the full version. And I was like, yeah, I'm not turning that into the IRS. So what we usually do on the PDF version is you can have it summarized. And what that means is for each coin that you traded, it will take all the amounts that you traded, all the purchases and all the sales, and put it on one line for short term and one line for long term. So if you bought Bitcoin, it'll have one line for Bitcoin on the short term report and one line on the long term. If you bought Ethereum, if you bought Matic, if you bought various other things, it'll break it down line by line. And this means on average, our clients are reporting probably 50 to 70 transactions short term, sometimes as many as 50 long term, usually not. For some reason, people don't hold on to these crypto transactions very long. But in any case, what that means is, as opposed to thousands of transactions, it's much, much easier to get the data into your tax software and to have a relatively short, small tax income report if you're summarizing by coin. And so that's what we tell our clients to do. And we have had some clients go to their accountant and their accountant is like, oh no, we have to have all of the trades. And then we say, okay, well, if you want all the trades, you print out this report, you give it to them. It's in a CSV format and it's in the correct columns and things like that. So they can just upload it and add it to their software. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, everything is good. I think that covers it on what you actually give your accountant or your tax preparer. A lot of normal accountants and tax preparers don't always know all the implications of various crypto transactions, which is why it's important to have somebody put together the crypto for them so that they can take the already prepared version and say, okay, the capital gains, we load that data into here and it spits out onto the Schedule 8949 if you're a US citizen. And then the income, we're going to summarize and we're going to report it over here on this line and over here. And having that laid out for them is really good. Otherwise, because crypto is such a new industry and because there are so many different situations that people are investing in, if you are earning interest from a particular protocol, that's reported one way. If you're earning mining and you're not doing it yourself, but somebody else is doing it, that's reported another way. But if you are mining for yourself, then it needs to be reported for self-employment taxes. And having someone who knows this stuff put together your crypto transactions really helps you know that you are going to be on the right side if you ever get audited or questioned or anything like that. So that is what services we offer our clients, is that we put together everything. We make sure that they haven't forgotten anything, because a lot of times they have. And we make sure, like I said before, that the taxes are telling the correct story, that you bought the crypto, you moved it over here, and then you sold it, or you put it into this protocol, and then you took the money back out, which is a return of capital and not income, that sort of thing. And because we are crypto investors ourselves, we've seen a lot of these protocols and we have seen a lot of these other situations. And because of my experience with all the various things I've done with stock investing and all the various mergers and splits and different things that have happened, different kinds of property that I've been invested in, that some of them send you like a Schedule K1, which is really annoying if you know what that is in the US, and all these different things. And some of them say, like so many of them, I'll get my tax form from my brokerage and it'll say, okay, you got this payout and this is a return of capital, and you got this payout and this is a section 198 or whatever. It's all broken down for me, and usually my accountant takes care of that. But because I have paid attention to it, I can recognize the same transactions in the crypto world and say, explain to me what this protocol is that you're invested in. And then when people tell me, oh yeah, I put money in and then I took the money back out, and eventually they might make a profit, but at first it's just a return of capital. So I help analyze these sorts of situations and make sure everything is clean and neat, and I can ask the right questions and I can say, oh, is it more like this situation or is it more like this situation, so that we can all be on the same page so that your taxes tell the right story. And that is what I geek out about and love about helping people with their crypto taxes, is that everything's so interesting, and there's always a new protocol that I'm hearing about. There's always a new coin or something that's doing, they've got these coins, they're called rebasing coins, and they set up these coins so that every day your tokens would increase by a certain percentage. And I got really excited about these. and I put some money into them. Not very much money, but totally lost money because coin ended up dropping in value like significantly. But it's really interesting because, the IRS says you're supposed to report the value of that coin when you receive it, but there's no record of you receiving it because it's automatically written into the code. It's just happening every second. And are you going to report the value of it every second? Or are you going to be like, pick a point in time and report the value that is increased then or something like that? And so these are the sorts of situations that are really interesting that I love to help people with. And if you have any questions about your crypto taxes, we love to answer them. We are here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're here on Saturdays at 10 a.m. talking about strategy. You can always message us. You can always send us an email at jessica@betavirtualassistants.com. And we are working on getting these videos up onto YouTube. So we are taking these videos off of Facebook, editing them a little so they're not so long and wandery and the little intros where I'm like, Facebook did this. So we're going to take a lot of that out, make them short and neat, and put them up on YouTube. So you can look for those soon if you've missed some previous Facebook Lives. We also think that Facebook has been deleting some of ours that we told it to save. So if we put them up on YouTube, then they're a little bit more permanent. So watch for that if you're interested. And send us questions if you have them. And in the meantime, I think it is time to sign off and enjoy the sun before my other student gets here. So see you later.